Welcome to the Niche Podcast, your weekly rundown of the biotech, clinical research, and life science industries. I'm your host, Dr. Noah Goodson. This week, AstraZeneca and W.H.O, Vaccine I Told You So's, Phitonex acquired by Thermo Fisher, and Axsome reports success in migraine relief. The World Health Organization has given their stamp of approval to the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. This is the first vaccine that the WHO has approved as safe and effective. Of course, the vaccine is already accepted in many countries, and with vaccine shortages, smaller nations who follow WHO guidelines will be waiting a while for supplies. The UK has approved the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, and a panel of experts in India has recommended it for approval. Unlike the Moderna and Pfizer mRNA vaccines, AZD1222 uses a more traditional vaccine design by driving production of COVID-19 spike proteins through a weakened version of the common cold adenovirus from chimps. The virus won't make humans sick, but an immune reaction is generated in response to the infection. The data suggest this is a safe and effective vaccine. The AZ vaccine has some major advantages that will make it successful. First, it does not require the same extremely low temperature cold chain that the mRNA vaccines need. Second, the use of more traditional vaccination technologies will likely make some users more comfortable. While the protective effect of AZD1222 was slightly lower than the mRNA vaccines, the need for billions of doses globally basically makes it so all players are welcome. I'd expect the mRNA vaccines to be more common in the leading countries where cold supply chains exist, while more traditional vaccines will spread across the rest of the globe throughout 2021. On December 7th, I predicted there would be mixed and confusing messages along with significant hiccups in the dissemination of COVID-19 vaccinations in the United States. Unfortunately, my prediction has proved accurate. I'm seeing daily headlines on the confusion and miscommunication. Last week, I spoke with a physician in New York City who explained the way certain hospital systems have succeeded in a clean rollout, while others have experienced long lines, confusion, and chaos. This will be compounded in the coming weeks as those vaccinated will also require the second dose at either 21 or 28 days. Adding to the national confusion is messaging about side effects. Unfortunately, vaccines, unlike other medicines, have a unique set of challenges to overcome. Chief among them is that by getting vaccinated, you will suffer specific pain but gain an uncertain result. The uncertainty is not because they don't work. Rather, it's because you may never know when and how it protected you. I got my flu shot. I didn't get the flu. Is it working, or was I just not exposed? This is not because the data are lacking in the support of vaccinations, but because humans don't typically assess risk based on data, but rather perception. The public perception is that vaccines cause side effects, pain, fever, etc., and that makes people fear they are not safe. Public health officials will have significant challenges in 2021, creating a cohesive message in order to ensure broad public compliance. The Niche is brought to you today by the Scope Method LLC. The Scope Method helps companies develop clear vision and strategic processes. Whether you need fresh eyes on your data, independent risk assessment, or are pivoting into a new therapeutic space, the Scope Method will help you focus close to re-examine what you know and look ahead to where you want to go. Find out more at thescopemethod.com. Thermo Fisher Scientific has acquired Phitonex Incorporated, a small fluorescent probe company. The deal appears to be a complete acquisition for an unspecified, presumably cash, buyout. It's a pretty natural acquisition. Phitonex has a proprietary suite of fluorescent labels and dyes for a variety of applications across biology. Significant work is done through conjugating fluorescent molecules to antibodies. Precise control over fluorescent patterns can allow researchers to more accurately distinguish between unique cell populations. It seems like Phitonex platform, tools, and IP will be incorporated into the vast suite of tools Thermo Fisher already sells in the space. While this may not be a top acquisition story, it does highlight the way small companies are able to build up a hyper-specific niche before being consumed by the larger fish in the life science space. You don't need a billion-dollar drug to create value and build a business. Axsome Therapeutics has announced positive results for their phase 3 trial for migraine treatments. Their therapy, still developmentally named AXS-07, showed significant improvement. At 1 hour, 40% of the people reported significant improvement. At 2 hours, 70% had improvement and 40% were pain-free. While those numbers might not sound like a dream come true, for anyone suffering with migraines, the idea of an acute therapeutic that can provide relief is very promising. Plus, the current market doesn't have many fast-acting or very effective therapies, so there is definitely space for competition. AXS-07 showed tolerability, health, and safety, and can be taken on an as-needed basis. Only 3% of people reported any adverse events. The drug will be submitted to the FDA this quarter. While it's unlikely to be a mega blockbuster, it likely will be a popular new therapy when approved. One trend we'll be watching in 2021 and beyond is how the FDA and other regulatory agencies respond to the transition to decentralized remote trials. Many studies had to shift their protocols midstream to accommodate the pandemic. The question is, how will long-term approvals be impacted by disrupted data? Some drugs, like Axsome's AXS-07, were likely not significantly impacted. After all, participants took the therapy as needed in response to migraines. Will more in-person therapies be able to explain any changes in a reasonable way to approval agencies? Will agencies be more accommodating, risking health and safety concerns, or more stringent, causing setbacks in companies' trajectories? It's definitely something we'll be keeping our eyes on as the year proceeds. Thanks for joining me on the Niche Podcast, your weekly summary of the top news in the biotech, clinical trials, and life science industries. You can learn more at thenichepod.com or find us on your favorite podcast app. Like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, share with your friends. If you like what you hear, please rate and review. It really helps us. Once again, I'm Dr. Noah Goodson, and I'll see you next week.